First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and a sincere salutation to you, Akim, and you, what they believe in all sincerity. I'm not too sure what I'm entitled this lesson, but you know, uh, this last camp, we spoke about the severity of salvation. The seriousness. The apostles have in the past done a series called The Nastiness of the Scriptures. All right. And one of the things that is written in the scriptures is that, not many are going to be saved. Okay. And contrary to, popular belief, the Most High is not coming to save, everyone. Scriptures speak about the elect of Israel. Okay, the best of their class, of you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. And we never stop saying it, just to, emphasize the, the terror of the Lord, the seriousness. All right, let's start here. This is 2 Corinthians 9 and 14. Then answered I and said, I have said before, and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. Okay. We know the 144,000, okay, the 12,000 from the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. It's going to be the governing body, but there's also going to be a 1/3. Okay. But that's far less than the true bulk of Israel. It says, like as a wave is greater than a drop. Okay. And a wave is vast superior to a drop in quantity. Okay. This is 21. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster. That's another analogy, a grape of a cluster, and a plant of a great people. You see, so what's a wave? What's a drop to a wave, I should say, or what's a grape to a cluster? Okay, it's far less, and that's how precious the elect is. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. So the let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. The multitude of so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans who this Bible is written for is basically born in vain. As we always say, they're like extras in a movie. The main characters are the election. Okay, the Israel of the Most High. They're the ones that have been commissioned. They have a special job. Okay, they were commanded to come to the earth to teach this word, to be examples, to have the light, to shine as lights in the world. Okay, and it's being made evident more and more who's of the elect and who's not, through the Spirit. Because it's with great labor that Yahweh Bashim Shai is making the election perfect. You see, not many can say that. Not many, have received the love of the truth. All right. What does it tell you? It tells you in a matter of fact, we'll just get it. This is the book of 2 Thessalonians and 2. It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. You see, many, the multitude, they're not going to receive the truth so that they will be saved. Okay, they're actually going to be deceived. Okay, and truth be told, the wicked, all right, 2/3 of our people, they actually they have pleasure in being deceived. Deep down inside, they're glad they don't serve the Yahweh Bashim El Shai, because if they truly serve Yahweh Bashim El Shai, I'm talking about those that have come into the truth, they would have remained, but they have gone out, to be made evident that they're not of the election. Let's read what this says here in another translation. It says, And I'll tell you, he will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction. You see, and that's Satan, or his physical counterpart, Esau, Edom, either or. Spiritual demon Satan, Esau, they're going to use every deception, okay, to fool those that are they're already on the way to destruction, because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. You see, and they weren't given it. They weren't given the truth. That's why we harp on the election. We harp on a standard. Brothers, rebuking, reproving, and telling one another to stay on the straight and narrow. And if you're wise, you're going to take heed constantly. All right, because it is a battle. It's you definitely have to be exercised to discern both good and evil, and constantly enduring. It says, and for this cause, the Most High shall send them strong delusion. Right. So the Lord sends them a strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. You see. So the Lord's going to send a strong delusion to 2/3, that they should believe a lie, and it could be anything, or anybody could come to them and deceive them, and that's really their lot. That's going to be their legacy, that they were deceived, that they were, that they left the truth and that they believed lies. It says that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Right, and they were pleased to be unrighteous. They couldn't wait to leave the truth. They couldn't wait to quote unquote be free and go back into the world and do whatever, it is that they desired. Whatever lust of the flesh that they hold it to. You see. So yeah, salvation is serious. Not everyone's going to be saved. This is Jeremiah 3:14. Let's see. Give me a second. Oh man, this is Jeremiah 3:14. Turn, oh backsliding children. Right. And going back into what I was saying, Israel is backsliding. Constantly. We constantly have to be chastised. We constantly have to be reproved, so we can stay on the right track, so to speak. But the difference is that the election is going to receive correction. They receive the love of the truth, and that's why they remain. But see, the wicked of Israel is gonna fall by the wayside, and we already know the heathen are not going to receive this truth. You see, especially Esau, Edom. All right, now let's get this. It says, turn, O backsliding children, saith Yahweh, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. You see, one of a city and two of a family. That's very small. And we don't know, which one out of what city or which two of a family. But we know that's a great indicator. That's, this is a scripture to show you, how precious this truth is and how salvation is, for it to be taken so lightly. And it's something that we were talking about at camp that really, really sparked, fire into brothers. It really made us think as we were bringing out this word, how precious this truth is. Not, it's not for everybody. It truly is not. And we always sit and are thankful and marvel that we're still in the truth. To be honest, I know I can speak for myself. After everything that we have done, even before we came into the truth, we're like, man, we've miscarried in the truth. There's not a man who has not miscarried in the truth, but we got to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You see, it says, it's Ezekiel 14:14. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith Yahweh thy power. You see? Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, You see at the top, the city will not be spared. Okay. And it's talking about a famine. Matter of fact, let's read it. Ezekiel 14:12. The word of Yahweh came again to me, saying, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and I will break the staff of the bread thereof, and I will send famine upon it, and I will cut off man and beast from it. And we're them cutting the SNAP benefits, is an act of war. That's going to cause famine, because they said that in November. Here, well, speaking for Arizona, they're not going to the state is not going to foot the bill. All right, we know the government ain't, but they were saying that some states might foot the SNAP benefits. But Arizona ain't going to do it. You see, so we're looking for the signs. We're looking for the signs, and these scriptures are faithful and true. So the Lord's going to cut off man and beast from the land. Okay. You see, when the land sinneth and trespass grievously against the Most High Yahweh Bashim Mashah has to do this to get people's attention, to let them know that there's a Most High and that you ought to be thankful, which a lot of people are not thankful to Him who created them. You see, that's why they riot in the daytime, doing wickedly, and think they're not good. The Lord don't see them. But see, it says, though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith Yahweh thy power. So if three men, okay, in this case, three men of the Lord were in a city, they're only going to deliver by their righteousness. You see? So we read, we're seeing that there's very few compared to the multitude are going to be saved. This is serious. This is truly for an elect. And they're only the elect because Yahweh Bashim Yahushai deems them to be the elect, and that's the more fortunate part. That's the whole thing. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That we brothers and you few sisters out there that truly believe, that are following the commandments, have a chance to be part of that election. There's nothing that can equal or being part of that hopeful elect. This is serious. The scriptures speak about being delivered up by family. It's going to get treacherous. That's another thing we were talking about. It's going to get treacherous out here pretty soon. You're really going to see, who's with you and who's not. Let's see. There's a scripture that says, excuse me. The point of the matter is that we're gonna see the world get real treacherous, and the fake is gonna be weeded out, and only the real is gonna remain. All right, this is Matthew 24, and all these are the beginning of sorrows. Right, this what we're seeing, ice. All right, well, this orchestrated famine with the SNAP. These laws that are being implemented. Okay, they can snatch people up wherever. These are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And And that's coming. A persecution is coming, man. There's people already that hate the guts of the elect. There's people out there that truly hate you. They truly do things to show their hatred for the Lord, their hatred for you. You see, they truly show that they hate all righteousness. It says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And this truly, I believe we're in this time. I truly do. There's so much apathy in the world today. There's so much people that are apathetic. It's just, they just don't, it's like people, the people right now are truly in this type of mind state where they'll get around to feeling something for you sometime, some way, someday. If people care about you, they show it when they truly want when they get to it. I'll get to it. I'll get to feeling some type of something for you somehow, someday. Like it's weird. It's very weird. We're living in a very weird, perilous time shall come. That whole chapter. Matter of fact, let's read that. This is how serious it is. This is how serious salvation, and that's why many are going to perish. There's so many ulterior motives. There's so many fake people coming at you with an angle. People, transactional people, narcissists, hypocrites, liars, deceivers. It's just, man. Let's read this real quick. 2 Timothy 3. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection. Yeah, people they're not even affectionate. It's weird. It's like people are really like holding their emotions in. Kanye West face all day, all night. Truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. Right. And the fifth verse reminds me of Christians, man. Like they got a form of godliness, right? They might read the Bible. They might go to church, or so it appears that they're somewhat godly. It says, but they deny the power thereof. They truly don't believe the true power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and how this truth is deep. It's not service level like all the churches. So they deny it. They deny that the Most High is a Negro, that he's coming on chariots, and that, spiritual power, all this. Like they look at it as like, that's dumb. That's weird. But it's not. It's the truth. Scripture say, know ye not the year of gods. Hey, from such turn away. You got to turn away from such individuals, man. They don't have that faith, man. It's not given to them. They didn't receive the love of the truth. And that's why salvation for a few is so precious, is so great. It's dangerous. We're coming up on dangerous times to be an elect member. Lord willing, we're those members. But it says 10, and then shall many be offended, shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Right. And we just seen what type of people are going to be in them latter days. We just read that 2 Thessalonians, the 3rd chapter. Many going to be offended because of all those characteristics, and they're going to betray one another. And it's because they hate. They're haters, man. Trust and believe. That word exists for a reason, and I'm not trying to say that I'm hating, and no. But damn it, there's some people out there that they're haters, man. They show it with their actions. They show it truly by what they do. That it's pure evil. It's pure hate in their heart. But see, that's why many that the multitude perished that was born in vain. We just read that, man. You see, they had we just read it in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. They had pleasure in unrighteousness. That's why the Lord's going to send them a delusion. They can all go down that rabbit hole, because they're that's their lot. Okay. And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many, right? There's many false prophets out there. These people follow them to their own destruction. And they deceive many. They trick many into, many things, many different things, you know, many different avenues. The scriptures say a deceitful man have many trains. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, right? And we're seeing that. We're seeing it because there's so much sin in the world. A lot of people are just joining the bandwagon. They're just turning into enemies. Their love is waxing cold because, the next guy's doing it. So they're going to do it. Or such and such got it done. So, somebody stole from you. So I'm going to steal the whole eye for an eye. That's really the only part of the Bible people really know. Oh, eye for an eye. I'm gonna get you back. That lick back spirit is real deep, real heavy in the world. It says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So you got to endure this sound doctrine. We must endure this sound doctrine. That's the way we're gonna be saved. You see? And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So this truth has to be preached so that people can get, the judgment. They can hear the truth, okay? And whether they're slated for salvation, they're going to be saved. And if not, they're going to be destroyed, okay? So salvation is very serious. People are going to be betraying each other out here. The love of many is waxing cold. The government's moving in. There's a great insurrection. I mean, all hell's about to break loose. The society itself is changing. If you can really, like, if we really look and see what the government is doing, they're starting to change society. They want it to go into the NWO, and people, they're not waking up. They're not seeing it. They're not seeing that they're about to be a lot of people about to get chipped up. A lot of people about to fall, and then that's for sure your fate is sealed. And a lot of people that left the truth, that even think they're straddling the fence, think that they're gonna take that chip. They're gonna take that chip. They already betrayed the Lord. They're gonna take that chip. All right. This is Matthew 10:17. But beware of men. I'll start at 16. A hard road before them. Wow, you see? It's a hard road coming, and we're still not done. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Yeah, you got to be wise. You really got to use that your mind. You got to use the scriptures. That's the wisdom that you're going to use, because the scriptures teach you how to be very, very, very shrewd in righteousness. And harmless as doves, man. Because ultimately there's nothing that you can do that Yahweh Bashim Yashai can do to an individual. So you wait. You let the Lord judge between you and an individual. But beware of men, for they shall deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues, and ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. Okay? When we spoke about that insurrection, and those that fear the Lord, that's coming. But when they shall deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in the same hour what ye shall speak. So through the Spirit, the Lord's going to, give you a testimony against them, right? The Gentiles. Okay, whoever tries to come up against the election going to have something to say. A condemnation, a judgment, just like we do now. You see? For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And everything is spiritual. These lessons are spiritual. All scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High. And in those days, too, because, truly, you are what you speak. The election is going to be, the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yashai, is known by the election. So therefore, you shall know who is the elect by what they're speaking. As people are too busy speaking about BS to be speaking about the truth. It says, and the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents, and shall cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endured to the end shall be saved. You see, again, you're going to be hated by all men for my name's sake. And the name, Yahushai invokes a lot. Okay, when you think of Yahushai, a lot of things are invoked. A lot of things are it's like a Pandora's box, if you will. You see, and you're gonna be hated for everything. If it ain't pork, because you don't eat pork, it's because because you don't celebrate holidays. I'm telling you, people will hate you for just that. Truth be told, it'd be the smallest things. This is, but he that endured to the end shall be saved. Okay, so we gotta endure. We must endure all these things for the elect's sake. We still got a job to do. Lord willing, we're of that elect. We're spreading this message, trying to get others to see, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai reigneth. Okay, so a little something on my spirit, something that we went over at camp, the seriousness of salvation, and it's not for everyone. It's going to get very treacherous, and it already is. It already is becoming very treacherous. I mean, things is hitting home. It's getting, it's like once you see it get close to you, you're like, yep, we're in those times. We're very much in those times that, this devil is making his move. And it shouldn't be where people say, oh, when? But when? No. Look, the scriptures say, Yahweh Bashim shall come like a thief in the night. So all these things are going to be coming slowly but surely. So we have to measure the times. All right. So, Lord willing, you was edified. All right. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And a sincere salutation to you, Akim, and you, Aqua, to believe in all sincerity. Shalom.